Hey, Gritty Kids. Welcome back to Gritty Kids Podcast. I am Miss Erin, and I am so happy you are here with me. The book I'm going to share with you today has become a new favorite of mine. The title is My Friend Kiara. The author's name is Kameel Vohra, and the illustrator's name is Alvin Adi. They are both incredibly talented and have written and illustrated really fantastic books. I am thrilled to tell you that today the author, Kameel, is here with me. Welcome, Kameel.
Thanks for having me, Erin.
So exciting. Before we get started, I want to let our listeners know what to expect during this episode. As I read through the first time, Kameel and I might stop and talk to you a little bit about the story. After we finish reading, Kameel is going to answer a few questions I have for him. Then Kameel is going to read through the book one more time without any interruptions. We will finish by letting you and your grown-ups know how you can learn more about Kameel and his books. Just a reminder, if you hear this sound, that means I am going to stop reading the author's words and use my own words to talk about the story. Then, when I play this sound, it means I'm going to start reading the author's words again. If you hear this sound, that means I am turning the page. If you are following along at home, you can turn the page with us. One reason I love this book is that it is interactive. Can you say that word? Interactive. That means that the book asks its reader to do things while they read. In this book, there are some pages that have a yellow box at the bottom. And in the yellow box, there are words telling us, the readers, to look for something. I will read those words in the yellow boxes to you, but you won't be able to look for the items because you are listening. While you listen and make pictures in your mind, you can go back to those pictures when we are looking for items. Another reason I love this book is because it rhymes. The words at the end of every line or every other line have the same middle and final sound or rhyme. My Friend Kiara by Kameel Vohra, illustrated by Alvin Adi. One day, Anika and her aunt Kiara were playing their favorite computer game. Today, they're trying to achieve scores in the game's Hall of Fame. On this page, we see a young child named Anika and her aunt Kiara sitting on the floor playing a video game in what looks like a basement. I notice something about Kiara already. She has something small and white in her ear and around it. Click. Oh, this page is all black except for 2 pairs of eyes. I wonder if the lights went out. Oh no! What are we going to do? Exclaimed Anika. The lights have gone out. Kiara replied calmly. Don't worry, Anika, there's no need to shout. The circuit breaker has tripped. I have no doubt. Here at the bottom of the page is the first interactive part of the book. The yellow box says, "Look back." Can you spot the circuit breaker? A circuit breaker is like a big box of switches that keeps the lights and electricity on. If it trips, that means that it isn't working properly. I can see the circuit breaker there on the wall. It has 2 big switches and some blue and red wires. Up the stairs they went. But what did they find? Oh no, the door is locked. We're trapped. Don't worry, we're not in a bind. We'll find my keys in a snap. Anika says, the lights are back. Oh goodness, they went up the stairs since the lights were out in the basement, but the door to the rest of the house is locked. On the bottom, there is another yellow box. It says, look back. Can you find the keys? I am looking back at the first page. There, Kiara's keys are on the floor next to the video game box. And it looks like the lights are back on. Phew! Go get those keys, Kiara and Anika. Kiara saw the time. I didn't realize it was so late. We should order dinner. What would you like? Perhaps some Chinese, Indian, or something homemade? All of that sounds really delicious, but pizza is always a winner. Could you repeat that? I hear better when you're facing my hearing aid. Oh, this is the first page where I can see both of Kiara's ears. Both of her ears have those white things on them. They are hearing aids. I know that hearing aids help people who can't hear, but usually I see hearing aids on people who are older. Kiara doesn't seem very old. Anika was surprised. You can't hear well? I didn't know. Should I speak loud and slow? Of course not. You can speak like you were before, though I may sometimes ask for an encore. There are lots of different disabilities. Some are invisible like mine, while others are easy to see. Invisible disabilities. I'm glad I'm reading this book because I thought what Anika thought, that it is helpful to talk loud and slow for people who can't hear. Kiara says she doesn't need Anika to talk that way, but that she might ask for an encore, which means she might ask Anika to repeat herself sometimes. On this page, we see other people who have disabilities. One person is in a wheelchair. One person has a prosthetic leg. One person has crutches, and another person has a walking stick and sunglasses on. Oh, I bet they're blind. That means they can't see with their eyes. Kiara has a disability, but you wouldn't know it by just looking at her unless you were really close to her ears. Hey, I have a connection to Kiara. I have an invisible disability too. I have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You would never know that by just looking at me because it has to do with the way my brain works. Anika gasped. That's how you turned on the light. You saw in the dark with your super eyesight. Do you have super strength too? Or the power of flight? Kiara smiled. No, but I have learned sign language, which was a delight. I wonder where I put my phone. Don't worry, Kiara. You sit down. I'll find it for you. No, that's okay. You don't have to look for it alone. Even with a disability, I can do things too. I see another yellow box on the bottom of this page. It says, "Can you find the mobile phone in the picture?" I see a watch and a hat and clock, a jump rope, a little plant. Oh, I see it. There it is, on the window ledge. Anika is trying to understand Kiara's disability. She thinks maybe it makes Kiara have other superpowers. She also thinks maybe Kiara needs extra help. Kiara lets her know that she doesn't have superpowers, unfortunately, and that even though she has a disability, that doesn't mean she always needs help. Oops, now we need the charger. The batteries are dead. I'll look on my desk. Could you check around my bed? In this yellow box on the bottom, it says, "Can you find the charger?" I see a computer and teddy bear and a backpack and some fuzzy pink slippers. Ooh, and a dream catcher with feathers. Oh, there it is. It's on Kiara's bed frame, right next to the dream catcher. A police uniform. Is that why you can't hear? From chasing baddies and fighting crime? It's not polite to ask how someone got their disability, my dear. We'll talk about it another time. Even though Anika didn't say the right thing to Kiara here, I am glad for her mistake because now I know that it isn't always polite to ask people how they got their disability. I guess if people want to share more about their disability with someone, they will. I'm not a policewoman, but I investigate chemicals and evidence. I mostly work in a lab and sometimes on crime scenes. Is it harder to work not hearing as well? That sounds real intense. Sometimes it's tougher, but working hard is just in my genes. Your hearing aid looks really cool. Can I try it out? Will I be able to hear the tiniest bugs crawl about? Hearing aids, wheelchairs, and even seeing eye dogs aren't for playing. When you ask, think about what you are saying. I can relate to Anika here. Sometimes when people have something special, like hearing aids or a wheelchair, I am really curious about it and secretly do want to see what it would feel like. I think Kiara is saying it's okay to be curious, but not okay to play with the items other people need or to even think that they are toys. Okay, Aunt Kiara, the pizza is on its way. While we wait, what should we do? Well, this game is my favorite one to play. We could keep going, but I'll leave it up to you. Anika understood that her aunt was still the same. Having a disability didn't change things. She was still the best. They picked up where they left off, playing their game. And when the food arrived, they had a pizza eating contest. The last page of this book has a few different pictures and boxes of words. The first box I see says, sign language makes it easier to say things, especially when you're feeling angry, frustrated, or just can't talk. And then it says, try these with your family. There's pictures of Kiara using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different signs. I remember Kiara said she knew sign language. That's a language you can use with your hands, and you don't need to be able to use your voice to talk or use your ears to hear, because you can understand what people are saying by the movements that they're making with their hands. That is so cool. The next box I see is yellow, and it says, what makes you, you? Let's find out. There's another box that says me with a smiley face emoji, and it has the numbers 1, 2, and 3 in it. It says, look at the crew below and draw yourself as the ship captain. There's a pirate ship in the background, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids that are the crew members. What we're going to do is draw ourselves as the ship captain. Okay, I drew myself. Number 2 says, what 3 words best describe how your character looks? I guess my character looks tall, strong, and happy. Number 3 says, what things describe you on the inside? Yeah, I guess the things on the inside are the things you can't really see just from looking at someone. What 3 things describe you on the inside? I think I would say funny, hardworking, and passionate, which means I care a lot about the things that I do and the people that I love. Underneath that box that has the 1, 2, and 3, there's another box that says 4, 5, and 6. And then it has words next to it that say, still me? Number 4, swap 2 parts of your character with the other crew members. For example, eye patches, peg legs, sword hands. I'm going to swap my hat for an eye patch. I'm going to swap my flag for a hook hand. Number 5 says, is the new character still you? Yeah, definitely. It's still me. It's just me without a hat and with a hook hand and an eye patch. Did the new parts make you a different person? No, of course not. Putting on an eye patch and pretend hook hand doesn't make me a different person. Number 6 says, if you keep changing the parts, when does the character stop being you? I feel like no matter what parts I changed on the outside of me, I'm always still just me, because I guess what makes me me is the stuff that's on the inside that you can't really change. Wow, Kiara and Anika and this story are so inspiring to me. I feel like I learned a lot about disabilities and also about what makes someone themselves. So now, before Kameel reads the book again to you without any interruptions, I have a few questions to ask you, Kameel. When did you write Kiara?
That's a great question. So I wrote My Friend Kiara in 2022, just a couple of years ago, during COVID. I had already written my first two books by then, and a lot of people had been asking me if I was going to write on disabilities. I have a visual disability, meaning I can't see as well out of my right eye, and one of my uncles was a quadriplegic, meaning he was on a wheelchair and he couldn't use his arms or his legs. So I thought that it would be great to write a book that talked about the different types of disabilities.
Wow, Kameel, that's really, really neat. Reading about and learning about disabilities, physical disabilities, and other kinds of disabilities and differences is so important. My next question is sort of silly, but it's one that a lot of kids ask me when they hear someone who has a non American or Midwestern accent. So, why do you have an accent?
Why do I have an accent? I was born and raised in London, England, in the UK, and this is just how we speak where I'm from. Everywhere you go, people speak differently, and you'll be able to hear that. It sounds like a strange accent. So to me, the American accent sounds different, and I would say that that's an accent.
Okay, that makes sense. I figured that people who have accents are probably from a different place. And I wondered if to you it sounds like I have an accent. It is really early here, but it is late where you are. My next question: where do you live? What can you see from your window?
I live in Singapore, which is almost 12 hours ahead of you. So when it's evening for me, it's morning for you. When I look outside right now, what I can see is thundery rain. We're a tropical country just north of the equator, so it's usually hot all and sunny all the time. But right now, we've got a bit of a storm, and my balcony and the garden outside is just in the middle of a torrential downpour.
Oh my, well, I hope the rain stops soon and that the sun comes out. That's so interesting how we can be talking here together at the same time, but it's morning here and night there. My last question for you, Kameel, is: did you always want to be a writer? And are you writing any other books?
Yes, I have always loved writing. I don't write full time, so writing is something, it's a hobby. It's something I love doing and I really enjoy. So I'm continuing to write. I have been writing articles and things from magazines and newspapers ever since I was little. I'm currently writing a new book that is on blindness, and I'm writing another one on something called financial literacy, which is for slightly older children and teaches them how to better understand money and how to save.
Oh, great. Well, I can't wait to read those books when they come out. Thank you for answering all of those questions. I think our listeners are ready to hear you read your incredible book.
My Friend Kiara, written by Kameel Vohra, illustrated by Alvin Ivy. One day, Anika and her aunt Kiara were playing their favorite computer game. Today, they're trying to achieve scores at some games Hall of Fame. Bing! Kiara's in first place, chimed the computer. Click! Everything went dark. Oh no, what are we going to do? Exclaimed Anika. The lights have gone out. Kiara replied calmly. Don't worry, Anika. There's no need to shout. The circuit breaker has tripped, I have no doubt. Look back. Can you spot the circuit breaker? Up the stairs they went, but what did they find? Oh no, the door's locked. We're trapped. Don't worry, we're not in a bind. We'll find my keys in a snap. At least the lights are back, said Anika. Look back. Can you find the keys? Kiara saw the time. I didn't realize it was so late. We should order dinner. What would you like? Perhaps some Chinese, Indian, or something homemade. All of that sounds really delicious, but pizza's always a winner. Could you repeat that? I hear better when you're facing my hearing aid. Anika was surprised. You can't hear well? I didn't know. Should I speak loud and slow? Of course not. You can speak like you were before, though I may sometimes ask for an encore. There are lots of different disabilities. Some are invisible, like mine, whilst others are easy to see. Anika gasped. That's how you turned on the light. You saw in the dark with your super eyesight. Do you have super strength too, or the power of flight? Kiara smiled. No, but I've learned sign language, which was a delight. I wonder where I put my phone. Don't worry, Kiara, you sit down and I'll find it for you. No, that's okay. You don't have to look for it alone. Even with a disability, I can do things too. Can you find the mobile phone in the picture? Oops, now we need the charger. The batteries are dead. I'll look on my desk. Could you check around my bed? Can you help find the charger? A police uniform. Is that why you can't hear? From chasing baddies and fighting crime? It's not polite to ask how someone got their disability, my dear. We'll talk about it another time. I'm not a policewoman, but I investigate chemicals and evidence. I mostly work in a lab, and sometimes on crime scenes. Is it harder to work not hearing as well? That sounds real intense. Sometimes it's tougher, but working hard is just in my genes. Your hearing aid looks really cool. Can I try it out? Will I be able to hear the tiniest bugs crawl about? Hearing aids, wheelchairs, and even seeing adults aren't for playing. When you ask, think about what you're saying. Okay, Aunt Kiara, the pizza's on its way. While we wait, what should we do? Well, this game is my favorite one to play. We could keep going, but I'll leave it up to you. Anika understood that her aunt was just the same. Having a disability didn't change things. She was still the best. They picked up where they left off playing their game, and when their food arrived, they had a pizza eating contest. The end.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Kameel, for spending time with us today. We absolutely love your books.
Thank you so much again for having me, Erin. It really has been a pleasure, and I hope everybody enjoys the books.
If you would like to learn more about Kameel, my friend Kiara, and the other books Kameel has written, there are links at the bottom of this episode that a grown-up can help you open. Thank you for reading with us.